So hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to declutter your nest, leading you away from a stressful life. So what is clutter? Looking at the picture, we know what it is. So clutter can be defined as abundance of things in a confined space at home or work. So the disorganization and accumulation of items, some of which you likely no longer use. Some people might use it as a coping mechanism to help go through tough times in their life, like loss of a loved one. It might feel that you are emotionally attached to the object to the point that it's hard or even painful to let go of it. Talking about memories. So at a certain age of our life, we reach a point where we accumulate loads of memories, a lot of material things that we don't necessarily use. And because of that, it might bring an overwhelming feeling and sometimes depression and anxiety. Having this baggage is not necessarily a bad thing. It shows what kind of life we lived, the hobbies that we had, what we were interested in, our children's childhood toys, and so on. Research shows that the clutter cleanup might resurface memories, and sometimes when we are caught up in them, finishing the work will be much harder. So to avoid any unplanned surprises, I will suggest some techniques today and tips to help you in this matter. So prepare in advance. Be ready both physically and mentally. If your family members will be helping you, you will need to inform them in advance in case you want to give them back their childhood memories like toys, trophies, their favorite jacket, that pen that your grandpa used. Like, there is a famous saying, you can fail to plan or you can plan to fail. So having this feeling of both being emotionally and physically exhausted is perfectly normal. And it displays the life you lived until now. So these memories that you hold on to, so how to tackle this, we'll be talking about it. Now, where do we start? So research shows that the clutter cleanup might resurface memories, and sometimes when we are caught up in them, finishing the work can be sometimes difficult. So avoid all the sentimental objects in the beginning and reserve it for the end. So have a checklist when you decide to start the work to stay grounded. If you have a checklist, it helps you to stay grounded because it can be overwhelming. You need to determine why you need to keep some items and why you need to get rid of some and some to donate. So when you have a checklist, it would help you categorize what goes in the garbage, rubbish, what you can give for charity, what needs to be recycled. If you have some things that you can return, the library books that are lying there, which haven't been returned so far, some action items that you need to take care of, and then definitely you'll have some things that you would like to keep or even sell if you're no longer using it, like on eBay platforms or other online platforms, and still some things that you are still not sure what to do with them. So let's see. So let's start by asking 4 questions to yourself. If you have something in hand that you are not sure what to do with it, ask yourself, do I have a legal obligation to keep it? Okay, if you don't have the answer, do I need it? Am I using it? Do I love it? Is there any emotion attached to it? Do I wear it? Or is there a hope that I'll come to that size one day, one fine day, and would start wearing it, or it would fit me? There are lots of clothes in our closet that are lying there with the hope that one day we would fit in that size. There is a simple strategy, 1 in, 2 out. So when you are going to buy a new t-shirt, donate 2 from your wardrobe. So if 1 comes in, 2 go out. The ones that you no longer are wearing or are tired of wearing them a lot, or they don't fit you anymore, those deserve to go out. Or just do the 1 in and 1 out to start with. like for all possessions, especially if you are a shopaholic. So talking about regifting, you can plan a decluttering party. So invite friends over that can help you with the decluttering, and they can come have a party and take away an item or two. So they get something in return while they are helping you out. Now, when we start clearing the clutter, we need a game plan. So here are some tips that might be helpful. Take before and after pictures to see your progress. So once you are done for the day, you can compare the before and after pictures and feel happy. Oh, there was a lot of clutter in my room, and now my room looks so spacious. Count the number of items you declutter. So you'll have something to pat your back that, oh, I was able to finally get rid of this stuff. So that number would be a good motivator. So you can choose to, there are different ways for decluttering. You can choose to start room by room or categories of things when we want to start on. Start small. Choose one drawer, one shelf, or just your socks. When you have succeeded with something small, you will exercise your ability to declutter and you will build momentum to keep going. Tell someone about your goal and develop an accountability partner. So if you have a neighbor or a friend, tell them, you know what, this is my latest goal. Today, I'm going to declutter everything that I don't use in the kitchen or in your bedroom. So next time your friend comes to your place, she will ask you if you haven't done your decluttering. Oh, I heard last time you said you were planning to declutter. What happened? So if you are telling someone, it makes you accountable. So get an accountability partner. Do a decluttering challenge and complete one area, room, or category before moving on to the next one. So do it one-on-one. So this is one way of decluttering. There are different ways that I'll be talking to you about. Determine your why. Why do you want to get rid of something? So identify and analyze each item calmly so that you might be able to decide in which box the item belongs to. So ask yourself, do I use this regularly? Do I love it? Does it spark joy? Do I have a specific use plan for it? What is the worst case scenario if I got rid of this? What will happen? Do I have the space to store it? If I was going to move soon, would I go through the trouble of moving this item? Or would I purchase this again? And you will get the answer to your question if you really need that thing that you are thinking of getting rid of or not. So ask yourself. So keep this list with you handy so that when you are in your doing the decluttering project, it will make your work easier. Pick each item individually. This method allows you to determine if the item belongs to the donation category, garbage, or for keeping. You need to ask yourself the right questions. So that's the reason why you need to have that list handy. Label your boxes or bags. So use the 3 container method. Once you are done with clearing the space, you will need to label your boxes into 3 different categories. The keepsakes or the collectibles that would need organizing, the donation that would require removal and hauling, and trash or the garbage that would require cleanup. So 3 containers, one for keepsakes, another one for donation, and the third one is the trash or garbage. Take care of the junk right away. So take care of the garbage, recycle papers, the bottles, and anything that needs to be thrown right away. This will give you more room to work and move around freely. If the junk is overwhelming for you, there are companies that offer services for this kind of situation. Setting up an appointment for a donation pickup will give you a peace of mind knowing that everything is well taken care of. So by the end of this presentation, I would be sharing with you some places that accept donations or that help with junk removal too. So hold on to that. Now, ways to declutter. So Mary Kondo's KonMari method is a very popular one. So there are different ways that she has suggested, like discarding by category. So you can deal with all the clothes first, then books, papers, etc. Or break a category into subcategories. Like you can break the clothes into tops, shirts, taking care of all the sweaters separately. Or keep only those things that spark joy. Like pick things one by one and decide if they need to stay. After you have finished discarding, organize your space thoroughly and completely. Store all items of the same type in the same pail. And another method is do it all in one go. So that's the extreme method. So tidy up in one go rather than little by little. Now let's see this in detail. Having a checklist is very important. So one room at a time. Make a note of big things first that need to be attended to. This method will allow you to be aware of what is done and what will be the next step. So if you have a checklist, you know step by step what has to be done. So having a checklist will, when you decide to start the work, to stay grounded, because it can be overwhelming. You need to determine why you need to keep some items and why you need to get rid of some items and some to donate. It is very easy to get distracted and getting overwhelmed by the task. That is why I will suggest you have a full list that you can keep modifying to your own needs. I've had people come and say, I started clearing my closet, then I came across an album and then I started seeing the album. And as I started turning the pages one page at a time, it took me back in the memories and I started doing something else and just forgot that I was doing the decluttering stuff. So having a checklist will keep you on track. Now, room by room method, choose a room to declutter, go there with your boxes, garbage bags, start sorting, packing, and clean everything. At your own speed, you can target the wardrobe or the dresser. Then you can move to the next room. So let's look at some important decluttering checklists. So if you are starting with the washroom, the bathroom. So these are some of the list of things. So like expired makeup in the wrong shade or color that you don't use, some expired medications, dried nail polish, old perfumes, broken or worn out ponytail ties, hair accessories you don't wear anymore, or hot hair tools you never use, cleaning supplies you don't like, contacts or glasses in the wrong prescription. All these can go in the decluttering. So have a checklist when you decide to start the work to stay grounded, because it can be overwhelming. You need to determine why you need to keep some items and why you need to get rid of some and some to donate. It's very easy to get distracted and get overwhelmed by the task. That is why I will suggest keep a checklist. Coming to the living room or the family room. See what all you have that needs to go away. Extra couch pillows, scratched CDs or DVDs that you no longer watch anymore. Movies you don't watch, broken TVs, video game consoles, stereos, old remote controls, burnt out candles, worn out or excess throw blankets, old magazines, dead plants, home decor or collectibles you don't like. Get rid of them. So these are the things that are just taking space while not being used. Coming to the kitchen, storage containers with missing lids. You don't need them anymore. Mismatched dishes and cups, appliances you never use, cooking utensils you never use. Think about it. Have you used it in the past 6 months, 1 year? If you haven't, there is less likelihood that you'll use it anymore. So you can think about a new place for it or donate it. If they are broken, just put them in the trash. Duplicate tools or utensils, outdated kitchen gadgets, old, yucky, or excess pot holders, too many coffee mugs, unused cookbooks, take out sauces, napkins, cutlery. Whatever you don't use can go away and you'll have much more space that will leave things neat and tidy and clutter-free. Coming to the pantry, specialty recipe ingredients that are older than 6 months, expired, that you can't use anymore. Get rid of it. Stale food, expired food, food you tried but don't enjoy eating anymore. Unused condiments in the fridge, teas you don't enjoy, old candies, old holiday chocolates, excess storage containers and jars, unused canning supplies. All of this, if removed, will give you a lot of space. So take one place at a time and get rid of the clutter. Closet, that's a big one. Socks or undergarments with holes in them, bras and underwear that aren't comfortable anymore, clothing in the wrong size, clothes you haven't worn in 6 months. Well, you can take it for a year depending on the season. Shoes you haven't worn in 6 months, shoes that are uncomfortable or hurt your feet. Why are you still keeping those? You can get rid of it or give it to someone in whose feet it might fit in a better way. Fantasy self-clothing, bridesmaid dresses, jewelry that's broken or missing pieces, broken or scratched sunglasses. All of these can go away and create more space. Bedroom, pillows that are flat or lumpy, extra clothes hampers, lamps and lights you don't use, books and paper clutter on the nightstand, art or figurines you don't enjoy anymore. Remove stuff under the bed, rehome items that don't belong, give it to someone. Drinking glasses and mugs, alarm clocks, clutter on top the nightstand or dresser. There are so many things that our phone has taken care of. Like we use the phone for our alarm. Instead of the clock, we use our phones to see the time. So if there are things that are just lying there because they used to be there, but they are of no longer of any use to you, think about donating it or giving it to someone. Or you might give it to someone who can find a better place or better use for that. Linens and laundry, sheets with holes or stains that you don't use anymore, sheets that don't fit your bed anymore, towels with holes or fraying, tablecloths you never use, shower curtains you don't love, too many rags, laundry care supplies you never use, like the iron board or starches, steamers, etc. To mend items that you have had longer than 3 months, but you never got time to take care of it. Stained, worn, or unwanted placemats. Cleaning supplies you never use. Get rid of it. Coming to office and paper clutter, empty pens, broken pencils, extra cords, old and broken electronic devices, receipts, expired or dead batteries, outdated stamps or stationeries like an old address or old business cards that are no longer relevant, junk mail, outdated planners or journals, all can go away. Coming to garage, old paint cans, tools you never use, used up light bulbs, holiday decorations you don't love anymore or haven't used in years, exercise equipment you never use, gear for sports you don't enjoy or play anymore, outdoor furniture you never use or is broken or worn down, empty cardboard boxes, tools that are broken or have pieces missing, too many extras or duplicates, all need to go. So just make it a target to take one room at a time, one area at a time, get rid of it. Just take one item at a time and decide where does it need to go. Is it to keep, to donate, or garbage? keep putting stuff in the different areas according to the category, categorize it, and then take care of it. Kids stuff, if you have kids in your house, toy that kids have outgrown, broken toys, unmatched socks, socks with holes, pants with holes in the knees, clothing with non-removable stains, too small clothing, puzzles with missing pieces, extra sippy cups, used up arts and craft supplies, need to go. The other way of decluttering is by categories. So choose a category, like pull all the items from that category to one area, like pull all your clothes together from all over the house, including winter coats, boots, etc. And then take one item at a time and decide, is it to stay or to go or to be re-gifted? Clear everything in one day. Now, this is an extreme method. It is very extreme, but very efficient if all the conditions apply to you. So this strategy requests that you invite friends and family for a cleanup party. The goal is to declutter and pack up everything in one day. If your family enjoys music, you can put some on, order some food for the motivation and positive energy. A weekend might be the best time to do this. So this can be a very huge project if you're thinking of doing it in one day. Now let's see this interesting video.
Cold weather and spending more time at home as some of us clearing the clutter in our homes. I know I've been doing it. I'm sure you have too, Devin.
Everybody's doing the Marie Kondo, right? It can be overwhelming at first, but tonight Sandra Ali shows us how to get started, which a lot of people have done, but the tougher part, staying clutter-free.
Decluttering is always one of the most popular New Year's resolutions, but this year it might be even easier to get and stay organized.
I showed her my space, and then she gave me an idea where to start.
Like so many of us, Julie Moscow put off organizing her closet for months, but the Huntington Woods woman made a New Year's resolution to declutter.
I got rid of like 6 bags of clothes, donated a bunch.
It's the beginning of new habits. It's the beginning of doing things that you've been put off.
Andrea Wolf has been in the organizing business for 15 years. January is always one of her busiest times of the year.
I think January is where people use it as the kind of the springboard to tackle stuff that they are like, okay, this is the the start line, because it is a type of working out. It feels good.
First step, pick a space you want to start with and start small.
Don't aim too low, but don't try and tackle something that you're not leaving yourself the opportunity to kind of make sure you put it back together before you like throw your hands in the air.
After you've decided where you'll begin, start purging.
Always start with a blank slate. So in order to get that blank slate, that means you got to go through and touch everything in that closet. You got to pull it out. You have to determine, is it a keep? Is it a donate, or is it a garbage?
Once you've got all that space, you can really start organizing what you've decided to keep.
You can look at how much space is needed for each of these things. So if your space needs to be reimagined from where it was before, we can look at it with a blank slate.
The fourth step, experts say, putting everything you kept back in place.
There's something about it of an empty space that we all love. We just feel free.
If there's a silver lining to most of us spending more time at home these days, now you can tackle those home organization projects you may have been putting off.
There is something very empowering right now when so much of it is out of our control and there's so much stuff we can't do. Whatever it is in our head, that when we start to organize and we start to have a space reflect the way that we feel empowered, on top of our game, that's like the ultimate.
Experts also say the most common mistake people make when they're tackling a project, buying way too many accessories. Andrea says don't go out and buy a lot of stuff that you likely won't need once you've finally cleaned out your space. Back to you.
All right, Sandra, but an important tip before you try to drop off donations. Right now, you do need to call ahead because due to COVID, a lot of charities are not accepting drop-off donations at the moment. We've also got a full decluttering resource guide on the features page at clickondetroit.com.
Cold weather and
So those were some nice tips.
yeah.
So talking about clearing a work surface after choosing your decluttering method, depending on the whatever method you have chosen, whether by categories or room wise or doing all of it in one day, it depends on you. So you will need a clear workspace to facilitate the decluttering. So where do you keep stuff? This could be your bed, the top of your dresser if you're in the bedroom, or in the kitchen, you could use the counter to get the stuff and then decide what goes and what stays. Talking about staying grounded is very important. So when the cluttering work begins, no matter which method we choose to work with, there will be a higher chance of memories to resurface. The feeling of leaving a part of your life behind might be inevitable. That is why we need to stay grounded. We will need to be aware and put an accent on our mental health. Is it okay to be anxious or overwhelmed when we are cluttering? Here are some habit or exercises you can use to keep yourself grounded. If anything prevents you from finishing the decluttering, take a break right away. Don't overwork yourself or force your body and mind to work when they are signaling you to take a break. So it's okay to take a break. Do something you enjoy, like going for a walk or walking your dog if you have one. Go to the park. The idea is to remove yourself from the cluttered environment and focus on yourself. So it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to do something that you love in between and then resume your decluttering process. So talking about staying grounded, yoga has proven to be helpful for relaxing. So if you enjoy yoga, it will be the perfect time for it. If you are a music lover, this will be a perfect time to put your favorite list. If you enjoy long baths, prepare yourself for yourself. The idea is to remove yourself from a situation that is frustrating and focusing on relaxing. So asking, a lot of people, they feel shy in asking for help, but asking for help is not being weak, but it shows your strength and determination. So the help doesn't necessarily come from a specialist. Just a phone call or talking to a family member or friend can help in this situation. So you can do some deep breathing exercises, yoga, music, a warm bath, or ask for help, whatever works for you. Now coming to the sentimental clutter. So it is suggested to avoid the sentimental objects until you finish with the regular clutter. So keep them for the end. For these items, you will need to be extremely careful and not end up with items that you don't need just because you feel the guilt or shame of not leaving them behind. So that is why I will suggest you with a list of steps that you can follow to ensure that decluttering of the sentimental items is completed well. Determine what's worth keeping. So when you are going through the items, ask yourself, what precisely am I sentimental about? So chances are it's not the object itself, but its association with a person, place, or time. It reminds you of someone, of some memory. You can retain that memory without a physical object to remind you. However, if you truly love the object itself, then it's not clutter and likely worth keeping. The professional organizer, Catherine, she suggests 3 methods of decluttering sentimental items like sampling, second life, and preserving memories, not the stuff. So let's see one by one what she means by that. So talking about sampling. So the idea of sampling is choosing to keep only few items that are similar from one selected category of the things you are decluttering. For example, you have a box of your kids' artwork or schoolwork that you have been preserving for years. So sampling strategy suggests that the best way to declutter this is by choosing only the top few art pieces that you can keep, and the rest could be classified as clutter. So keep the best from those different art pieces that you have been preserving for so long. And at this point, you should let go of it by just keeping the best ones. Second life. So the organizer talks about things we hold on to because they look pretty or practical, but we end up not using them because of maybe the items don't match our new space anymore. So instead of holding to it, it's better to provide it with a second life by giving it to someone who has a space for it And who will love and take care of it as much as you could, or you did while you had it? So that's another strategy. The other one is preserving memories, not the stuff. So the best way of preserving the memories and not the physical items is by taking a picture of the item before putting it into the donation box. So anytime you miss seeing that, you can just see the picture. If you use social media, you can post it on your status or on your wall. That will be a good and healthy way of letting it go. You can even have some laugh about it with your family and friends. So anytime you want to revisit that memory of that stuff, you can go and see the memories on your Facebook wall or on your social media, and you can have a laugh. Don't let gifts become burdens. So many people hold on to gifts because they imagine the giver will expect to see them displayed or used when they visit your place. So the giver might not actually expect that. When we are decluttering, we must stay objective. If it is something we'll need soon, we can keep it. But if not, we can find a new home for it. A gift is yours to do with as you please. So do not live with the expectation that whoever gave you would feel bad that you are not using it. So if you want to give it away to avoid it cluttering your space, that's your decision. So that's totally your call if you want to keep it or you want to give it away. Let's watch this.
Sentimental items can be the most difficult things to let go of. Your childhood stuffed animal, that half-finished drawing you made when you were 8 years old, a birthday card with a touching personal message written on it. It's those things we attach the most emotion and meaning to. So how can you discard a sentimental item gracefully, in a way that respects your emotional attachment to it? Let me start off by saying, as a minimalist, it's okay to keep an item that holds sentimental value to you. If it makes you happy, by all means keep it. And put it on display. Give it a prominent spot in your living space. But what if a sentimental item feels heavy, even brings you down? Perhaps it's in a box or out of sight, tucked away, back in the closet, yet somehow you're having trouble letting go of it. For those situations, I've got 3 questions I want you to ask yourself, and afterwards you may find it easier to discard a sentimental item that has been holding you back. The first step is figuring out why you're having trouble letting go of this item. What is it that's holding you back? What's the story you tell yourself? Perhaps it was a gift or a piece you inherited, and you feel like an ungrateful bad person if you discard it. It might be something that you feel you will never be able to replace, like that souvenir from that trip to Bali, or those shoes they no longer make. Maybe you feel guilty about having spent a lot of money on it. And even entertaining the idea of letting it go brings up a whole bunch of self-judgment about your terrible financial decisions. Whatever it is, do a bit of soul-searching and bring it to the surface. Simply getting clarity on the story that's running in your head may already create a shift about how you view this item. It might be a story that once had a lot of power over you, but on second thought, you've now moved on to a new season in your life, and this sentimental item no longer serves you. Now that you've clarity on the story you tell yourself, it should be easier to detach the emotion from the actual thing. Perhaps what's holding you back is the concern that if you get rid of the item, you will forget about it, or the memory of an experience or loved one that's associated with it. A common minimalist tip to counter this is to take a photo of it. But perhaps that's not enough when we're talking about items that hold strong sentimental value to you. An alternative that might do more justice to the personal nature of the item is to record a video of it. And while you're filming, talk about what it means to you, what it reminds you of, what it represents, how you got it, and then you can express your gratitude to it, almost as if it was a person. Gratitude for how it has enriched your life. Even if it now feels heavy, it has served a purpose in your life, and when parting with it, it's good to acknowledge that. If pondering the first 2 questions didn't change anything, it's time to approach it from another angle. What is it costing you to keep this item in your life? In my video, What is Minimalism?, which I will link to up here, I encourage you to write down why you want to become a minimalist. If you want minimalism to have a real impact on your life, one that lasts, you need to have a solid foundation. Not everyone comes to minimalism for the same reason, so it's important to know what's driving you. For some, it's saving money. For others, it's freeing up time to spend on things they deeply care about. And for yet others, it's mental clarity. Ultimately, decluttering is a means to an end, and that is freedom to live a more intentional, purposeful life. And with that frame of mind, take another look at that sentimental item you've been holding on to. What is it that makes you hold on to it? And how does it relate to your why? Is it in alignment with it, or is holding on to it actually preventing you from making progress towards achieving your minimalist goals? As I pointed out at the start of this video, it's perfectly okay to practice minimalism and still hold on to an item that has emotional value to you. If it puts a smile on your face each time you see it, by all means give it a prominent spot in your living space. But if it's no longer serving you, perhaps it's time to break with the past and discard it. I'd like to end this video with a word of caution. If you're grieving, it might be best to hold off on making emotionally challenging decisions. Depending on what you're going through, it can be tempting to get rid of everything altogether. But you might have regrets later on. A better approach would be to still put these sentimental items in a box, but store them for a few months out of sight. And then, when the worst grief has faded, you could take another look at them and come to a final decision. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe for more. Sentimental items.
That was good advice. Talking about guilt, getting rid of guilt. People often keep items not out of love or nostalgia, but rather guilt. And guilt is an entirely unhelpful emotion when it comes to decluttering. You don't have to always feel guilty when you are evaluating sentimental clutter. Instead, find it empowering to clean your space and objectively evaluate whether something is worth keeping. Save a digital memory. The world today is getting digital every day. So saving almost everything digitally is the new thing, and it's eco-friendly. So when sorting through documents, photographs, certificates, trophies, consider scanning and saving them digitally versus storing boxes of paper copies, unless you need the originals for a specific purpose. This can free up a lot of physical storage space in your home. You can also do this with three-dimensional objects such as children's toys and trophies. If you no longer have a need for the actual objects, take a photo of them rather than storing them. You can store the image on a USB key or a private account online. Save space. Keep a scrapbook. If you are a deeply sentimental person, a scrapbook can be helpful. You can combine a lot of your sentimental clutter and keep it easily accessible for when you want to revisit those memories. Add pictures of items decluttered, letters, and other papers in the scrapbook, and make notes in the margins to explain their significance. Eventually, the scrapbook might become something you pass down to a future generation, something that will keep you busy too. Decluttering photos. So the ones that are severely damaged beyond repair, the duplicates, the bad quality of image can go in a garbage bag. Focus on people you know, like family and friends. The one you determine that sparks joy, as Mary Kondo will say, you keep them. Do not store them as we are decluttering. It's better to send or take them to a professional to make a digital format album. So the ones that are to be kept go in a digital album. This will prevent them from getting dusty or being damaged in the future. You will free a lot of space and you can have access to them at any time without going to the hustle of lifting boxes. Trophies. So the objective of this is not to clear your home of all the trophies, awards, or medals you have ever won, because you probably have some that you are proud of. We may have a lot of trophies, but in reality, few hold great meaning. The rest are there maybe because we worked hard to win them long time ago, and now we can't bear to get rid of them. So the trophies may be yours or of your kids. The idea is to free up some space in your new home since your space will be limited. For those you determine to be important and meaningful to you, displaying them will be the best way to share it with your guests. And the rest that are not meaningful nor important, taking a picture of them will be the best way to commemorate them, then donate it to a nonprofit organization or sell them. Get some extra money. Wedding dresses. So these are the most difficult ones to declutter because we spend not only considerable amount of money on it, but time as well to choose the perfect design for the perfect day. A wedding dress can be useful in so many ways, including selling it so that you can get some cash back. Like the author Mary Kondo will say, if it doesn't spark joy anymore, it's time to say goodbye. I understand that this is a deeply emotional matter for you. That is why I will suggest you some ideas to make this process a little easier. Now let's see what can be done. Popular things to do with an old wedding dress include selling or donating the dress to charity. Other options include upcycling the gown into evening wear or children's clothing, creating keepsakes and decorative items such as quilts, holiday ornaments, album covers, or throw pillows. Also preserve the memory of the dress. So these are some things you can do with that. Certificates. We avoid decluttering papers such as certificates because they hold deep meaning to us, and as well because we might not be sure how long we are supposed to hold on to them. There are some certificates that we have to renew at some point, and if we do not realize that, we might keep expired certificates with us as well. So birth certificates, marriage certificates, social security cards, insurance policies, passports, personal memories that you feel like keeping, you may keep it in a very well organized and noted binder so that they are in good shape and can be used whenever required. You can also scan everything to a digital format like Dropbox or Evernote, or keep it in a USB drive. There are donation centers, like there is a Goodwill Donation Center, Vince Thrift Store, Calgary Drop-In and Rehab Center Society, Calgary Trans-Canada Goodwill Thrift Store, Salvation Army, Value Village, where you can donate stuff. There is free junk removal for seniors, charities that are there. So good at the Goodwill store, you can get rid of junks like furniture, shoes, clothing, toys, games, electronics, housewares, furniture, art, books. At Salvation Army, it can help you get rid of junk like furniture, mattresses, clothing, various household items, appliances, electronics, books, used cars. Habitat for Humanity. So most Habitat restores offer pickup of furniture donations as well as other large items, including appliances, building materials, household items, appliances, and more. So think of these. Wheelchairs, walkers, or health equipment. So these can be donated to the Red Cross, Easter Seals, ALS Society, Goodwill stores, drop-in center. Some junk removal agencies are like the Junk Movement, Junk Doctor, 1-800-GOT-JUNK, Calgary Junk Vehicle Removal. You just need to call them and they'll take care of the rest of the stuff. So decluttering is like being able to breathe properly after a bad cold. It frees up your mind to think of the things that are really important. So just like you declutter your house, your nest, the same way decluttering your mind is also important. So let's start with the decluttering your home first so that you have less things to take care of, less stuff to maintain, and then it lessens your stress level and you are able to focus on what is really important. Now, this is a funny one.
So nice having a clean house. Clean? I'm not clean. The rest of this place only looks tidy because of me. I'm sorry. I will get to you. There's a lot going on in there. I just have to have time to sort it out.
You always say that, and then the next time you need the house to look presentable, you put another layer of filth on me. I have laundry you haven't folded, papers everywhere, bags of stuff you're too lazy to take to Goodwill. And why do you have so many blankets? I am drowning here.
Next weekend. Okay, I promise. I'm just gonna...
Really?
So life is constantly changing. So when an object comes into your life, enjoy it, use it well, and when it's time, let it go. It's that simple.
And now, if you have questions, I'm just going to go through some questions that I think are here and some contributions as well. So, Deborah was just letting us know that the Kerby Center has the next to new shop and also food pantry for donations. Thank you, Deborah. Then how long do you, so there's a question for you, Vineeta, that how long do you keep papers for Canada Revenue Services? Okay, Deborah, somebody also answered that. I think Joanne answered and said 7 years. And I consented that, yes, it's 7 years as well. So thank you, Carmen. So please ask your questions. Jenny said animal rescue groups are always needing towels of all sizes and quality. They will use damaged towels, dish clothes, and face clothes as one-time rags instead of paper towels. Oh, nice. So
thank you, Janice, for this.
Thank you for the contribution. So decluttering computer files. I'm interested in tips on how one keeps up with this. I have over 15 years of collection information. Don't we all do? Okay, over to you, Vineeta. Do you have tips?
So I gave a tip that scan everything and get it digital. Now, how to get rid of the digital stuff? So maybe take one pen drive, one USB stick, or one folder at a time, and go folder by folder and see what's there in it. Does it hold relevance for you anymore or not? And if it doesn't, just delete that stuff. If it still sparks joy and you want to keep it, keep that file. Otherwise, start getting rid of those files. I remember, like, when my son was in third grade, I had lots of projects and stuff that I had saved on my computer. Then one fine day when I was doing this decluttering of the computer files, I thought to myself, why do I have it now? My son is grown up now. He's not in grade 3. Do I need it? So I had a distant cousin whose children are in grade 3 and 4. So I just called her up and said, you know what? I have some nice projects that I use for myself, that I've saved for my son when he was young. So do you want it? In any case, if you need it, I have this. So she was very happy to collect it. And the next time she visited my place, she came with a USB drive, and I just cut and pasted from my resource to her USB stick. So that's how I got rid of it. So you can do the same with your files.
Great. Okay, there is another question here. That my struggle is to get rid of collector's items.
So just ask yourself the question, does it spark joy to you anymore? How long, when was the last time you used it? Or do you think that you would use it in the near future? If not, make a video of it, just as I suggested in one of the slides. Take pictures, share the memory, and give it to someone who would make use of it.
Great answers. And you can also, I think we can also donate them if you want to.
Yeah. Or sell it on eBay or on Marketplace. You'll get some money out of it. If they are really collectibles, they will have some value. Joanne says, I went through projects with my son and let him decide what to keep and get rid of. We got rid of almost everything. There you go. Congratulations, Joanne. Job well done. So your son was the one who helped you in deciding, oh, I don't need it anymore, Mom. Get rid of it. And you got so much space for yourself.
Okay, if we still have more questions, we can either go on the microphone or just drop the questions in the chat box. Thank you.
And Carmen says bottle recycling centers take electronics and recycle. Yes, Carmen.
Thank you, Carmen.
Best Buy used to take old TVs and old computers. I don't know if they still do.
Does.
Oh,
it still does. You can drop your electronic appliances at Best Buy too.
And old paints, you can give it to the, there are certain police stations. I know one in Country Hills does that.
Oh.
Yeah, old paint and all those, what do you say, the hazardous chemicals.
Yes, hazardous materials, yes.
Yeah, you can give it to them. They have a space over there.
And fire stations take chemicals and paints too. Thanks,
yeah,
Ma.
that's what I was saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've asked my son that when the time comes, what does he want of mine? He's told me, and I now know what I don't need to keep. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to read out something. I had a nice article I came across. It's called Death Cleaning. So a concept proposed by a retired general, which I liked. It's like after hitting 55, we should do a death cleaning. This is the methodical cleaning and clearing out of all things material and mental that we have accumulated over the years of our active past. Firstly, the clothes, accessories, artifacts, mementos, collectibles, gifts, and other sundry items, all of which we no more need. Once we are truly old, the world has no time or place for us. Our family will have no time for us because they have their own life to lead. After our death, why burden others about clearing out our stuff? It is better that while we are still able-bodied and healthy to systematically give away our things to deserving people who are happy to receive and use them. Be firm and focused when clearing out stuff. Do it in an organized manner on a time schedule based on your own necessities. Don't get emotional and sentimental. Be practical. Start by doing a little bit of death cleaning every week, every month, every year. Stop buying too many new things and things you don't need just because you have money. Just hold on to your money as long as you are alive and write your will. But treasure your memories, for they are carried with us as we move on through different lifetimes. If we have hurt someone knowingly or unknowingly, let's say sorry, seek forgiveness, and clear our conscience. Let's say thank you to all who have helped us. Let's not hold on to grudges. So when we go peacefully without any karmic baggage. Carry only a good mind and good memories. That is our genetic imprint. Less luggage, more comfort.
Yes, that's a good one. So Carmen said, my husband is my declutter partner. The rule is garbage should be clean and kept for cars, bicycles, garden should be clean. Great. And I like the one in and one out method. That's a great tip there. So when you're buying one shirt, get rid of two, and you can increase it, get rid of 3 or 4, and then bring in one. That's very good. It's also a good financial plan method. So it shows that if I'm buying one, then I know that I don't need 2 anymore. And then I can rethink, do I really need that one? You can turn it around that way. Because when you say, I have to get rid of 2, then you look at it, but this 2 is still good. Then maybe I don't even need to bring in 1, That's the way I just rewired it in my brain. And I learned something too, that, be more with less. We should try and be more with less. So, and it helps our mental well-being, because it's all about minimalist kind of thinking, which is good. And we really don't need that much. If we really sit down and think about it, we really don't need that much, and we can get rid of them. So there is another Henrietta. Oh, okay. Would you mind? Oh, so someone is asking, Vineeta, would you mind sending us a copy of the slides used in today's presentation? We would have at least all the presentations will be recorded and put on the YouTube. So when donation items are helping, Deborah is asking, when donating items, you are helping others. This is a good feeling. Oh, yes, that's so true. It's a good feeling. You're helping others. We don't need everything, and we can just let some other people enjoy it. Thank you for this. Vineeta from Anne. That's a good, she's saying thank you for the presentation. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody yet. So, and if we have no more questions, I think we'll call it a day. And
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Vineeta and Lola. Happy holidays. Thank you, Carmen. And thank you from Deborah. Thank you from Flora. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. And thanks for your patience, and thanks for listening. Thank you, Vineeta, as well.
Thank you.
So have a great holiday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stay safe, be well.